Hi. Welcome to a Level Up Live, a Mashup Monday. I haven't got my glasses on. What's the date? What's the date today? 11th, 12th of May, 2020. Welcome. Where in the world are you? Remember, it is the show is all evolving from Lockdown Level Up Live to a Level Up Live, and let me quickly explain that. Because today, coming at you from Central France, we were allowed out. Yay! The girls have been out for the first time in approximately 7.5 weeks, something like that. Yeah, so it's been a pretty full-on day, and I won't bore you with all those details, but we have been out and about. So yeah, remember, if you're new to the show, we're kind of talking informal, drop-in radio show style. Let me just quickly, if you're new to the show, where in the world are you? Let us know. Use the chat. It might be Mashup Monday, but we want to know what lockdown looks like for you. We've had people come in from all over the world, different countries, and we want to know where you are. What does it look like? I'm getting playback. That's playback from my own screen. So let's just mute that. There we go. I am back. So yeah, I didn't even get a chance to set the camera up today, so I'm going to do this on the fly. Yeah, so today's theme is Mashup Monday, and so if you're new, what's Mashup Monday? Well, the whole thing is new. So I will just put a bit of context around it so you understand what it's all about. But Mashup Monday is when we talk all things online marketing, and that could be websites, SEO, email marketing, keyword research. All these things sort of overlap, okay? And yeah, so Monday is what we put aside for that. Let's do a bit of housekeeping as well. If you're new to the show, you'll see on the bottom of your screen there is a URL, and it is how you can come and join in the show. It's a virtual room. You just you type that in. It is facilitated by Skype, but you do not need a Skype account. And so what I will do is let's just put that information. Let me just open up my broadcasting software, and we'll just whack that into the chat. Here you go. So yeah, that's another way of doing it. There we go. So yeah, if you're new to the show, you want to come on the show and let us know, just click on that and come on the show. What will happen is there will be I'll get a little beep in my ear, Skype will fire up, and we can go live on the screen. And would absolutely love to have you come on the show. It is that type of show. It's not all about me. But if I get time, I will be spending some time today talking about building your email list. So let me just put some context into what we're doing here, leveling up. Now, as I say, I am evolving as much as I can with the show. If you've seen from the beginning, you'll know that literally the show came out of some spontaneous events. I'm going to try and recap those quicker and quicker, but I like to make sure everyone's got a context of what's happening. Just say we've got Tim. Tim's here. Hi, Tim. Good to see you, buddy. And now Tim is someone who I'm very keen to have on the show, especially around this online marketing subject. Tim's got some great experience and insights into Facebook ads, and it doesn't always work for him this time, but it looks like he's managed to put the kids to bed. So yeah, Tim, you're welcome. As you know, if it works for you, just jump on Skype or just contribute to the chat. So yes, everyone, I'm going to keep going with the camera so I can tell the story of how the show's evolving and what we're trying to do. So on Friday, or on Thursday last week, I had a guest. So Thursday has become Thoughtful Thursday, And we had Di Manuel come in. He is a life coach, life mentor with a health and fitness background. But Di came on and was very vulnerable about men's mental health. And it was in the lead up to that meeting with Di that I sort of thought as this show evolves, which has started during COVID-19, really this show is all about, is the world, can we level up to the point that is your world, is our world, is the world a better place today than it was yesterday because you leveled up? You leveled up in some shape or form. And it doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering or world-shattering. If you just learned a new hobby, or if you applied yourself to something that just made your world a better place and brought goodness and happiness into your world, that then you could go on and share to the people around you, that to me is leveling up. And until I think about that and perhaps until I apply Thoughtful Thursday on an even deeper level, I'm gonna run with that. And so, tonight we're talking online marketing, and it looks like Tim might be able to come on. I'll take you up on that, Tim. I'm probably going to go about 45 to 50 minutes tonight, so that's my aim. But I will go longer if there's engagement and chat. But yeah, so if you want to come on the show, let's sort of make sure it can happen in the sort of next 20 minutes, and if not, we'll make it happen another night. So, but that's an open invite, and I can always do my stuff another time because I want everyone to show how they're leveling up. Remember, can you make the world a better place today than it was yesterday because you leveled up in whatever shape or form? So if you're new to the show, I'm just going to take another reminder. Remember, tell me where in the world you are. It always helps. I'm beaming at you from France, central France, where today, after 6-7 weeks, we were allowed out. And we have literally been isolated that whole time. The girls haven't been out the house the whole period. I have been out to get groceries about 3 times, major groceries, and the odd croissant from the local bakery, because even without lockdown where we are very isolated. We're in a rural part. But I want to know where you are and what does lockdown look like. So our restrictions have definitely been lifted. They're not totally lifted, but they have been lifted. So, okay, while I am still trying to get this thing set up and proving that men can't multitask, I will do a snapshot of why the show exists, so you've got some context. And if you've heard it before, I'm going to try and do the brief version. But just before I do that, one more reminder: if you want to come on the show, please use the URL on the screen. Put it into the chat, and you literally just need to click on that, and that should fire up a virtual room. And I would love to have you on the show. It's no more complicated than that. And let's talk anything to do with online marketing today. So how did this show come about, and sort of how does it evolve through to that purpose and of making the world a better place? So it came about because a few weeks ago I was listening to my friend Martin Ebonge. I was listening to one of his podcasts, and Martin challenged the listeners during that podcast to make sure that this period in our lives, which is extremely unusual, unprecedented, it's not giving us new time, because I want to be very, we've always got 24/7, and it's just how we choose to use those 24 hours that we're given, 168 hours in the week. What differentiates us all is how we spend those time. But certainly what has changed is our allocation of those times being taken from us. Now you can't go to the gym, or you can't commute to work, or you can't do this, or you can't do that under government decree, is that right? And that's what's changed. And Martin was saying, don't use this time to make excuses that you haven't got time. Use this time to level up. He didn't say that, but it was invest in yourself. So whether that's a new business skill, a new professional skill, or a hobby. I've been saying, for anyone who's watching this, a family-friendly show, you can bring your kids on and tell me how they're leveling up. How's their world getting better and then how that sort of transcends to your world. So maybe you just want to explore your creative side. Maybe you want to explore your musical side. Maybe you want to start listening to podcasts. Maybe you want to just go out and get your garden in better shape. Or maybe you want to do an exam. Or maybe you want to take a paper. Maybe you want to start a degree. Maybe I mean, all around the world, online courses are being made available at, money off, free, all sorts of things. So now is an incredible period where the whole family could level up and learn new and different skills and make your family's world a better place. So how exciting is that? And Martin was saying, this is the time. Don't use this period to just say, I haven't got time. And then what happens is this period passes and you come out and you see that other people have moved on, they've got new skills, or they've moved up the professional ladder because they've been putting this time to good use with investing in themselves, and then you're trying to come back into a world and it all be the same. This is an unprecedented opportunity to have the time to level up in any shape or form. Be a better wife, be a better husband, be a better dad, whatever, all sorts of ways. Anyway, I could keep going. The second thing that happened was I was introduced to a mutual friend who was trying to breathe life into an accountability group in the World Scholars Movement. Now, I should just put that into a little bit of context, who I am, what I am. My name is Colin Clapp. I am from Parenting Passports and Profits. Let me see if I can quickly just, if you don't know who I am, and I'll explain kind of what I'm doing here. Yeah, so parentingpassportsandprofits.com. That if you go there, you'll find out who I am and about my partner Ellie and my 2 children. And we are a world schooling family. We have been location independent or without a permanent home for over 3 years. We're into our 4th year of permanent travel, most of which has been in Southeast Asia. But just before COVID-19 really kicked in terms, or lockdown kicked in, we came to Europe. And we are currently house sitting, so in this wonderful part of the world, which we haven't really got to see. But it's pitch black at night in Central European time, but all I can see out the window is rolling hills, as countryside as far as the eye can see. So we're a full-time permanent unschooling, world schooling family, and I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Trey Hip, who was in Mexico. We were introduced by a mutual world schooling friend, and Trey was trying to breathe life into a online accountability group within the World Scholars groups, and he told me about this, or I knew about this through the group postings, and I wanted to get involved. I wanted to just be part of the meetings and be around other online small business people in the World Scholars movement. But for one reason or another, the times weren't working, and it was hard for me to join in when Trey was trying to get this scheduled, and that's still the case. But we took the opportunity to have a one-to-one at a mutually convenient time. And as Trey and I were talking, it reminded me of my sort of previous life when I actually was I was an accountability coach. And I professionally facilitated accountability groups. And now what's going on here? I'll tell you why I'm doing this in a minute. I'm going to be getting to the point here. Here we go. Hopefully that's it. And but I said to Trey, or we agreed I would just sleep on it. This accountability thing and how I might be able to contribute to the group. So I wasn't making any major decisions, but I was just thinking about, how can this conversation with Trey be put to good use, and we'll go from there. Now, what should happen now is we should see me end up on a different camera, or not. Yes, no, yes. What's happened there? That goes in there. Why are you not happening? All right, here it comes. Here it comes. There we go. Leveling up with a second camera, and because I'm getting much better at this now, I can go like that and see you on that camera, or I can go like that and see you on that camera. and I'm going to get to that, why that's important in a minute. But so yeah, so I was having this conversation with Trey. We agreed that we would sleep on it and see how I might be able to contribute to the show. And then the third thing was just thinking about how COVID-19 was affecting everyone, and what the lack of connection and social interactions. And Ellie and I were just talking amongst each other, and we were like, well, what can we do? And we offered our calendar up to people who might want to just chat about anything that was going on in their world, and we did that, and a few people took us up on that. And then, but we didn't really know what we would do with it, which led to the fourth thing. And I saw some friends and inspirations and some of my own mentors who were using this opportunity to go live and create a sort of Ask Me Anything platform. And what happened was Martin's comments, my conversation with Trey, Ellie and I's conversation about how we could make ourselves more available, this Ask Me Anything type platform, it all made me think I need to go live and make myself available, and I need to upskill and do that. And because the fifth thing was sorry, what's happened there? Camera 2, go away. Camera 3, camera 4, camera 3. Something's happened. Apologies. So I'm coming at you, broadcasting at you with some software called ECAM Live, and it's the thing that allows me to put things on the screen, the things that make me change screens. Although something's happened and I'm unable to swap cameras, how I was just swapping a minute ago. So I'm sure there's some pop-up that's telling me that I can't do that. But ECAM Live is a subscription-based service, and I'd had this subscription for a while. I'd made some good use of it right at the beginning, and then I dropped off and was unable to get going with it. And so it's kind of been sitting there behind the scenes, and I've been a bit frustrated that I haven't been able to work with it. And then so as I took on board what Martin was saying and my conversation with Trey, and reflected with Ellie, and saw my other mentors and inspirations, I was like, it's time. Just stop procrastinating, get in there. If you haven't got this mic or that camera or whatever, you need to level up with live video and just schedule it. And as they say in the trade now, just press the damn button. And that's what I've been doing for 21 nights, Monday to Friday. Since Easter Monday, I've been going live around this time every night, and I'm going to continue to do that. So I just got a little beep in my ear. I think we have someone ready to come on the show. So let me just see if I can find out who that is and where they are. I'm just going to quickly whack that. Close that window. Right, there should be a message for me somewhere. Someone's wanting to come in. What's going on? Where's that message? And where's that message? Can I see a chat? Can I see a chat? Oh, I know what it is. You're the only person on the call. All right, mate. No, one of two in the call. There must be Tim Lowe. Excellent. Tim is coming on. All right. Okay, everyone. I am just about to kind of pause my things while we bring Tim on. Righty ho. Let's get back to that. And Tim, not on this call, but share a link on this call. Tim Lowe, chat. Okay, let's just see what happens. Okay, let's see if we can get Tim on the show. 1 and 2 in the call, not on this call. Share a link. How does that work? Oh, we're trying now. We are trying now. Is this going to work? Is this going to work? Tim, are you there? Are you there? Obviously, Tim's got a bit of a... So what happens is there's a lag. And so I'm just going to go back to the... Is that you, Tim?
That's me.
We did it. We did it. Now, just bear with me a second here. I just want to make sure that... so I'm off the broadcast. Let's get Tim front and center. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, look at that, Tim. We get rid. Sorry, Di, we still got your details. So, Tim, I haven't got your details up on the screen, but I'll try and do that on the fly. I'm guessing you can't see that at the moment. I'm guessing you're just slightly.
No, I'm gonna turn it off and leave it off just in case there's anything stuck, so to speak.
Cool. Nice haircut, buddy.
Yeah, a little bit short, but there we go.
I'm desperate. I'm desperate.
She's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, I know. I used to, but I think, like I mentioned in a message, we don't travel with the clippers. So no, she's done a very good job there. I'm impressed. Well done, Rachel. So, Tim, you're coming at us from. Tell us where you're coming at it from.
Shrewsbury in the UK.
Cool. And what does lockdown look like for you guys?
It's interesting because, as you know, we travelled obviously quite a long while, so we spent a lot of time together, and I think that's a little bit different from some people where they haven't had child with them full time the whole time.
Yeah.
You guys obviously get that, so it's not, obviously we can't go anywhere, although that's changing at the moment. But hey, can't grumble. It's staying inside. It's not too difficult, is it? So.
No, and are you totally inside? I mean, you and I caught up a few weeks back, but I'm not totally up to speed on. Yeah, what is the actual situation where you are?
So we've always been able to go out for a walk. You can go for a walk. No longer really supposed to be no longer than an hour, and you can go shopping. So that's really it, I guess.
Okay.
You go the other side of things. It's they've just released documents and everything else yesterday and today that are relaxing restrictions. So things like sports are starting to be allowed from Wednesday.
Okay.
More people are going back to work, but they've got to obviously adhere to social distancing. Pubs and restaurants and bars aren't going to open probably till July.
Oh, right. Okay.
It may be sooner if they can, change restrictions and everything else, and if the cases stay down. But we'll see.
Okay. So tell us about Mashup Monday, online marketing. I know you're a professional golfer by trade, aren't you? But you've evolved into new hats. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're doing it and what's working, what's not working? I've got you on the screen. I've got you on the screen as Facebook ads right now, by the way.
That's fine. That's one of the certainly one of the main things I'm doing at the moment. I'm seeing so many people who are selling things online, obviously because of the times that we're currently living in, and the need to be able to get at people. So we had a call with somebody you put me in contact with a couple of days ago, and it's about them getting videos out in front of people and once people have watched that video, then you can retarget them with adverts. If they've watched 50% of that video, 75% of the video, 100% of the video, and obviously you're then going to somebody that is actually interested in what you do. So if you've put an ad out there and it's been targeted as for video views, and then they've watched over 50% of what you've done, clearly they're interested in that product. If it's a 2-minute video and they've watched 50%, they've bothered to sit and watch a minute of what you're doing. So they're at least interested. and then it's being able to go back to those people. And setting that up is reasonably straightforward. It's just knowing how to do that. A little bit closer to your side of things, when somebody starts going to a website, if people don't have Facebook Pixel installed, you start driving traffic, whether it's through blog or social media or anything else, to your website. You get people to go to your website or to a certain page on your website. You want to be able to go back to those people and stick an advert in front of them. And again, that can be done on Facebook. It can be done on other platforms as well, LinkedIn, Twitter. They've all got their different variations of essentially remarketing or retargeting. But it's being able to use that to the advantage that you need at the moment for online and selling stuff. So you've got to put people through that journey of knowing you, liking you, and then trusting you. And once they trust, then they'll start to buy from you. So, once you've got a customer who's a bit warmer and they've watched a video or they've watched some of your content, then they'll feel a bit more comfortable if you stick a sales message in front of them.
Tim, just for people who might not know the bit about the retargeting, do you just want to quickly explain the Facebook pixel and the retargeting concept? I'm personally curious. Are people still marketing, advertising without the pixel in place? Because that seems crazy to me.
So essentially, it's absolutely, and I think some of it's just lack of understanding or knowing. We've all been there. It can be quite clever. You Google something, then all of a sudden you're on Facebook, and then an advert pops up for the same thing you've just Googled, or yesterday or the day before, and you think, where on earth has that come from? That is retargeting. So if you go to somebody's website, there's a small bit of code. You'd go to Facebook. You need to create a business manager account to be able to do it, but quite easy to do. And you set up an account, then you create what's called a pixel. So you'd set up that pixel, and it goes through an installation process for that. It's a small bit of code that anyone who runs the website would be able to put in for you.
I can vouch for
that. And essentially, it's not ever seen by anybody, but when you actually go onto that website, you are then recorded as a visitor. We all get the things on every single website. I personally find them a little bit of a waste of time saying accept cookies, because if you don't, half the time you're kicked off the website. But that's where we are. So you go onto that website, and then you can set up an advert to all of the people that have seen that page, or essentially pixel. You can start going deeper than that. So you could set up people that have been to your website, but anybody that didn't visit or has visited that page, a specific page. So it could be anybody who's visited your domain, or it could be anybody who's visited a specific page.
Yeah, and I think the point we're trying to let the audience know here is that without the pixel, you could just be throwing advertising money down the drain at a completely cold audience, whereas you haven't got a hot audience with the remarketing, but you've definitely got a warmer audience. That's the idea, isn't it?
They've bothered to go to your website.
Exactly.
So if they've bothered to go there, then you can at least stick an advert in front of them, in hope, especially if it's a specific page on your website. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing a homepage, but if it was another page on your site, it depends what you offer and the services you offer. You may offer it may be a kind of standalone, almost landing page style website, which, if that's the case, that's fine. But if you've got a more traditional website set up in pages and menu formats, if you go to a certain type of service that you offer, if I had a website set up with Facebook ads and landing pages and social media, I could target everybody that visited the social media page or the landing page. And then they're interested in that specific type of service, and you can go back to them on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and use those. I would start on Facebook. I wouldn't start going on the other ones, unless you're quite niche.
And that goes for products as well, doesn't it? Even more so, I would imagine. E-commerce
totally,
sites. So if you're selling physical goods and someone's looking at maybe some furniture you make, or some widgets that you supply, or a whole range of e-commerce type offerings. If people are landing on certain product pages, and you understand that through the Facebook remarketing, that can make a big difference. Which leads me to, so Tim, tell us a little bit about how important are the analytics. You start an ad campaign. How important are the analytics?
It's same as, I think, the same as anything you probably do within your business. You've got to be able to measure it and then be able to use those stats essentially. You don't need to start big on a lot of these campaigns. People might assume that you'll start with £50, dollars, doesn't matter. And then, you can do $10 a day, £10 a day, whatever that is, £5 a day, and start putting more budget towards something. And then what you would start to do, for a start, when you run ads, really don't bother changing too much for the first 2 or 3 days. It can start a little bit slow, but then Facebook starts to warm to the people that are actually looking at what you're offering and what you're putting out there. And then it will start putting that ad in front of people who look more like the ones that are actually engaging with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So once you've gone through that, you get to the 3 days, and then you would really start looking at the click-through rate. So how many people are actually going, how many people are either viewing a video, how many people are watching a certain percentage of a video, how many people are clicking on your link to your page, and then going from there, really. So absolutely, the stats are, you've got to want to be looking at those numbers the whole time of, is it working, is it not working, and understand your own business, if that makes sense. If you're trying to sell a product that's $100, $300, $500, well, how much are you willing to spend per customer? I ran a campaign for somebody last year, and it was selling furniture online, and we probably sold in the region of about £100,000 of the product in the end, over 6 months or so. But that was going to an audience. It might cost you $20 per lead, but then by the time you get 25% of those drop out, it's actually cost you, say, $100. It all in, but it might cost you $100 per lead. But when you're making $250 per person, then it's a well worthwhile venture for spending that $100 to get that final sale of everybody that's going through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that
so it's understanding your own numbers and those metrics.
Yeah, because any form of advertising, take the internet out of the way and go back to when business started and advertising started. Good advertising involves spend $1 and get more than $1 back, and I mean obviously it's about return on investment. But we live in times now where the analytics are readily available.
Totally.
Tim, I know analytics puts a lot of people off, and I would imagine that's where someone like yourself can come in, because you can interpret those analytics. Because I think a point I want to make out, and I'm not an ads person, but this isn't something that you can wait about, and you've got to be, because it's live money going out during a campaign. You need to be on the analytics while the campaign's going. You can't sort of. Yes, you can look at the analytics retrospectively, but that could be too late, and you've lost a lot of dough. Would that be correct? Have I still got you?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of campaigns that you're running, obviously. 100%, you've got to be on it, but at the same time, that's where you don't go big, you don't go all in to start. You don't go into a casino and put $500 on black and hope that that's your money for the week gone in Las Vegas. It might do, but you would know that. I've been there and done that, by the way, but desperate times. But no, in all seriousness, you would. That's where I say you would start at $5 or $10 a day. see how that's going. And it depends on the audience size as well that you're working with, and then go from there. And, you obviously you've got to try and look at how many sales that's equating to. And once you feel like you've got a formula where that's working, where you've got a number of people that are, 10 people are coming in out here, and one person, or 2 people are coming out at the end, 3, whatever that is, and you know that those numbers are working for you, then you can start to put in $20 a day, $30 a day, because that you can grow that, and you know the type of audience that it's working to, if that makes sense. So that's when you grow, and you make sure that you grow at the right rate. You don't just, like I say, you don't just throw it all in and go all out.
Yeah, and you've talked about that to me in the past, and it is something even within the Facebook algorithm. You've kind of got to train Facebook to a degree. Is how you said it. You going all in is not the way to do it. You sort of demonstrate your own professionalism and seriousness by.
You've got to totally. If people are starting out with they might be starting out with a new Facebook page. One of the best things that you can do is running a likes campaign on that Facebook page. So targeting very specifically the people that are interested in what you're offering, whatever that may be. And then, because when somebody goes to buy your product, if they look at your Facebook page and you've got 500, 1,000 people that like that page, that's not only people that potentially will engage with your content, but it's also social proof that you've got a viable product and business online, if that makes sense. So that's the first thing in that side of things. And then you start with a very low threshold. If you go to a bank and the bank don't know you, they're not going to give you £1 million to spend just because they feel like it. So you've got to grow up some credit with them. So spending some money with Facebook will then enable you to be able to go and spend more. So you'll have a very low billing threshold when you start. And then as you grow, you'll be billed at, instead of $15 or $20, it'll be $30, $40, $50. And that starts to grow because they trust you. They trust your ad account. They trust what you're spending money on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the different types of ads there are?
Yeah. What I'm going to do quickly, I'm going to get these up. So we've got, there's essentially you've got the ones that will drive traffic to your website. So the idea is, and they might be the start of a campaign, so that you're finding people that are interested, that will drive people to your website, and that's where you may then start to bring in the retargeting, if that makes sense. So you can have purely traffic campaigns they can be the cheapest way of getting an amount of people to come and visit your site, so that they try and have a look at what you're doing, so to speak. And then you start to go into engagement. So you're then wanting people to obviously engage with your posts. So if it's a video, they want people to watch the video and get that video in front of people. If it's just a picture post or a text post, there's almost always a picture. You want people to comment on it. You want people to like it and engage that way. There's other ways as well. You can get people to fill in a form. So you can grab their details straight out of Facebook, out of that post, as it were, and take their email address, their name. To be honest, the lower amount of data as possible, because then if you get too long, people then either don't want to fill out the form or can't be bothered, or get a little bit nervous about giving away the data. So if you've got a first name and email address, that's enough to engage with somebody, sending them an email saying, "Hi, Tim, so-and-so," and then you can go on from there. You can get the rest of the data later on. So you don't have to go too much to start with, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And then finally, the last set of ads that you would run are conversion campaigns. So that's when you're sort of going in for the kill. You're looking to make a sale on those ads. And obviously Facebook will put those ads in front of people that are or have a greater propensity. So they know the people that click through, they know the people that spend money online, and that's when you want to be tracking who's visiting the sales page, who's visiting the thank you page. If they visited the thank you page, then they've bought from you essentially, and you can. That's how you can use retargeting and the pixel to a much higher degree and a higher level, knowing that somebody's visited one page and the second page. So you might do a set of adverts retargeting people that visited the sales page and exclude anybody that went to the thank you page. Because if they went to the thank you page, they've gone through and they've successfully completed, that funnel, if you want to say. So it is going through that and building that up. So you're going from when you start, there's like a three tiers of ads that you do. So you're going from traffic, engagement, and then conversions, and you usually work that way through the campaign. So you start getting the traffic first, and then you grow up to try and get that conversion.
Okay. Before I lose you tonight, I was hoping I wanted to ask you about split testing, and we'll wrap up on that. But I'd just like to go back on one thing around the cold audience. So I maybe should have asked this earlier, but it was only when you were talking about the was it the awareness? You didn't call it awareness? What was the first stage in the campaigns?
I said traffic, but there is awareness on. So if I go, I don't know whether I can share my screen here or not, but I could actually show what that is. Essentially, it's awareness, it's traffic, it's getting something. Yeah, it's awareness, not traffic. But
the reason I wanted to
getting the brand out.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to bring that up was because if we talked about retargeting earlier, it was a way to get warm traffic. Was to sort of take people who have already shown some interest in your site. But I guess the awareness is often starts when no one has heard of you. But it's the concept of lookalikes, and maybe you could just tell people a little bit about lookalikes, because you can use lookalikes at this stage. Am I correct in thinking that?
You can use what you would usually use a lookalike audience, that although it will vary how people will use them, there's different types of audience. For a start, you've got your general targeting